Wasn't that crack?
It is. It was great.
And you got a wee footer, no? We got photos.
Photos posing outside. It was great.
Listen, we're going to talk about gaming here. Emma Robinson's here, but if you have anything of a digital nature do you want to pick up on, she'll be talking on the radio in about 5 or 10 minutes time, because she features in this one as well, folks. It's a little special that we were meant to bring you yesterday, but time defeated us, because after Friday's show, I finally took up the offer that we got some weeks back from Helen Doherty. She's the community manager of a wee community group called Nintendo Derry, their choice, not the corporation, and her computer game partner in crime, Ronnie Gummersall. They challenged me to a few rounds of a modern fancy game on the TV that you play with the wee hand things. Luckily, I had our resident tech expert Emma Robinson in my corner.
Did indeed.
Or so I thought.
Well, I mean, like, I was rooting for you. I wasn't.
No, you weren't.
Well, not so that you would do any better than I would, but I knew that one.
Well, it turns out this particular game was everybody for themselves. That she wouldn't join my team. Anyway, I have a certain perception of gaming, as I often take the mick out of Emma. Or maybe I had a certain perception, because there's that old thing about people in basements playing consoles, Emma in her woman cave, eating junk food, never seeing daylight. What I didn't expect to garner here was a better understanding of this particular world, the social anxiety, the mental health stuff that computer games can maybe address or even help with, and how, in the broader sense, it can be a kind of a learning tool. So it's fair to say that these three, Emma, Ronnie and Helen, addressing stereotypes, well, that includes some of my own.
Well,
Have you selected who you're playing as?
What?
Down here in the bottom corner where you're Mario at the minute, this is you.
You're in the bottom corner.
I want to be the boy with I want to be the boy with the
use your
feathers. What?
Use your movie stick to find the boy with the feathers in his head. See this? It goes up and down.
What do you call the boy with the feathers in his head?
He's down there. I think he's
It's down, down.
Where am I?
So you're...
Is that me doing that?
Yeah.
Oh!
Now you pick your Kart. Yeah.
Right, so I'm on baby mode.
am I on baby mode?
You're also on motion control mode, so
Me?
you want to turn that off.
Yes, please. I don't want to be on any
I'll give you
auto.
that.
So this is Teams. Emma's on my side, right?
No, we're not in teams, but I'm going to
No.
give you something that has a nice bit of a balance with speed and
He's on.
acceleration.
You two are on motion control, by the way. So
She's very good. She doesn't need to be on baby
No,
mode.
I don't want to be on motion control.
Yeah.
Turn
So
that
press
off
the left
now.
button, turn it off.
So
Okay.
Press SL to turn off.
Right, so these are the conversations you guys have when you get together with gangs. It's like, so you spend half an hour flicking through
With gangs.
with gangs.
Aye, and we look like a real fierce gang, don't we?
So we're a gang.
We're a clan.
What are we?
We're a clan.
And what do we do
That's
if this was
yellow.
the real world? Ronnie, do we go to your house or do we go to...
Yeah.
Where do we go?
Or the meetup, wherever the meetup is.
you could even go to the park with the switches or
Yeah.
Costa.
Helen, you're
Oh, will you set up Mark's motion?
you're an
control
eminently
so
sensible person, Helen. How did you so how did you get into this subculture of
Well,
I got my
wee carts things?
well,
Okay, there we go.
I've been playing Nintendo since like 1989,
Uh-huh.
and yeah,
That's,
lots of history there.
X.
But
There.
when the 3DS came out, I've been going to like meetups since 2007, something like that. I don't know. I kind of just felt like I wanted to set up my own, so
Yeah.
I set up Street Pass London.
Street Pass.
Yeah,
That's what it used to be called.
and ran that for like 5 years or something. And I did an event in Donegal called Street Pass Donegal. Oh yeah, and that was a group as well, so that's still going, Street Pass Donegal.
Okay.
And that's where I met Ronnie, actually.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's a romantic story. Here, Helen, are you good at this?
At Mario Kart.
Yeah.
I'm okay, yeah.
All right. And Ronnie, are you sort of ridiculously good?
No, I'm not. I'm not that good.
Because on my right hand is our secret weapon.
Oh.
Your secret weapon has no proper controller. I don't know the last time I played Mario Kart with one of these.
You
but
come in here with
let's
a-
see.
you
I
come
came
in here
with
today-
2 controllers of my own and
But
everything.
you come in here with a pencil case, and the pencil case has got a wee
A switch.
set. You're worse than the golfers.
That's nothing.
So
You should see the.
So anyway,
equipment.
there's a thing officially called Nintendo Derry, and you two are doing it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that is to stop people going to the pub. Is it?
Well, you don't want to be the person who brings your Switch to the pub.
I have been the person who's taken my Switch to the pub. I don't mind being that person. I'm okay with it.
Why do you not want to bring your Switch to the pub?
Because everyone's drinking and you're like, hey, shall we have a game of Mario Kart?
And then if you do this in the house and you've got 4 lager or four cans, you're going to lose, right?
Maybe. You
Well,
shouldn't drink and drive.
What course are we going for then? Have you a preference?
I don't, but did you get on? Let's get us started this.
What cup shall we do?
I gotta
Shall-
say, when I was running Street Past London, we'd
Stars one of
often
the best.
actually have our events in the pub.
We're starting now.
Right, hold
ready
on,
to
don't be
go?
starting yet. I want to talk about it first before we are.
We'll pause it.
Helen, why does this culture matter? I'm sat looking at a screen with wee carts going past on it. We're sitting here like 4 goofs with microphones in front of us, with wee harmonicas in our hands. Honestly, they're really nice wee harmonicas.
They're
Well, why
cool.
does this move your thing?
What do you mean?
Well, it matters on so many levels. Like for me, I really enjoy it. Yeah, and
He's
like
starting the
I
music. Don't be
don't.
starting the
I can
music.
No, I
pause
can
it.
pause it.
I mean, like, I can't really like play sports and stuff. So,
Yeah.
irrespective of if someone has something holding them back, like they're just really fun. And when you go to these events, you meet people with the same interest. But if you are somebody like who has some things holding them back, then you know
No,
they
like
won't
what
have
holding you back? Like
say like
Social
disabilities,
anxiety.
yeah, mental health issues, other things as well.
but you guys are you're as civil as the day is long. You took a talk for Ireland.
I know. But we're the ones who are doing it for the other people.
Well, I do have, I don't know, I could not play sports because I've got like, I only use one eye at a time, so I don't have depth perception. So that completely cuts me out from any ball games. Like, so that it limits what I can do in terms of community events.
So this is 3D, but you've only got 2D in one eye, is that right? So this is harder for you,
Well,
is
it's
it?
you either have 3D vision or you don't, and I do not have it. And you do have a point that the 3DS was it did have a 3D function, but luckily most of the games were 2D anyway, so it wasn't a hassle.
Gotcha. Ronnie, what I notice immediately is you guys actually talk like human beings. Despite the culture or the cultural prescription, some would say, that this stuff turns your brain to sugar.
The cultural perception has been like generally accepted to be wrong for like the last 20 years because all games, no matter what the genre, will teach you something. Like adventure games will teach you spatial awareness. RPGs might teach you math skills to do the turn-based combat, or what more modern ones might teach you social skills with the social interaction, or platformers or fighting games will test your reflexes. All games will teach you something, and I think what skills you develop will depend on what skills you like. For example, now we're playing Mario Kart 8, which is a racing game, so it's all about, you know, your reflexes to get the best drifts and your judgment to use the weapons. So.
But Helen, let me be honest, I've went to a couple of these things down the years and it's always blokish. That culture, how have you encountered all that? Indeed, have you countered it, actually?
Yeah, I have encountered it. I feel like the Nintendo meetups don't tend to... They're not really like that.
Nintendo's all about nostalgia, so they mainly appeal to kids and people who grew up with Nintendo.
I don't think I'd say mainly, but they do
I said
also appeal to
they're
those.
about it. But I mean, like, you know, the stereotypical mother's basement dwelling gamer dude might not be interested in Nintendo, and even, you know,
Some of them are too.
Yeah,
but
some
yeah.
of them are, but even that I don't think there's that much truth to that stereotype, because it's not the games that cause them to be like that. Maybe people with, like, you know, social anxiety or mental health issues.
All right, fair enough, yeah.
And would be the kind of person to stay in all
But
day.
Ronnie,
whatever,
you've got
would
perfect
go take
specs on.
days.
You're wearing a 2-piece suit and a shirt and tie that is buttoned to the top. This is not the gamer I was expecting to meet today.
That's because I'm a fancy boy.
But you're wearing a suit.
I know, fancy.
You like suits?
Yeah.
You asked why it was culturally important for events like this, and what I think for events like this is that it helps to break that stereotype, like that that sort of basement dweller thing that you're on about.
But
that
you do
it's an
that.
easy
You do
joke.
that in your basement.
No, but I mean,
You've told us for the years about your girl cave.
I do have a cave and all, but see, assigning it to be this singular thing, like making it to be this really antisocial thing, is the wrong perception
All
of
right,
it
well,
nowadays.
I need to
it is
maybe step
far
back
more
from
open.
that. Yeah, absolutely.
My point is, video game addiction is a symptom of the problems that might cause people to be basement dwellers or whatever. It's not the cause.
Gotcha.
Because, you know, people who do that, it might not be games. They might really be into, you know, chatting online with people or politics or whatever, and they all seem to have the same political opinions, but it's neither here nor there.
But listen, I'm looking forward to meeting a few friends at the food festival tonight, right? It's going to be crack. We're going to eat stuff. Are you guys looking forward to, an event? If this was an event in your real life, is that the highlight of your weekend?
Well, when I lived in London and I was working, I'd go to events like the food festival myself. And a couple of weeks ago, me and Ronnie, we both helped out the PPP, who pick up litter around Derry City. So it depends on the weekends.
I do not play games nearly as much as I used to.
All right, okay.
I do a lot more stuff, and I just don't have that much time.
All right,
in
we
my
need to
life
race.
the
thing I said, Declan made me do this, right?
Yeah.
But he said, all right, okay, I'll be okay. Emma's coming. I said, okay, is Emma on my side? And he says, yeah. And then you said,
No, it's all for one. It's all for each. We're all on our own.
Sides, I mean, there is in battle mode, but we're not doing battle
I think
mode.
you can make teams, but
so I've got baby mode, which means if we rubber rings in the swimming pool.
Well, you've got an antenna on the back of your car, as you can see.
You can't go off the track.
Right. What do I do here, Emma? Look, what do I do? If this is about to go here.
Pretty much at the minute, I think you just look at the screen. I think that's how easy baby.
So you've got to accelerate on. You don't even need to press forward. Yeah. All you need to do is steer. That's to use your weapons, and that's to drift.
I can win this. No, I can. Right, shall we? What do you do at the start? You go.
Oh yeah. So when it goes.
I mean to start, you go 3, 2. What do you do?
Yeah. Well, if you press the accelerate between the 3 and the the 2 and the 1,
the
two and the
2.
1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you can. You have to time it right, but there's a chance you'll get a boost.
We're past that
start
now,
right, okay.
So we're going to start 3.
So
2.
this is us in Waterworld.
Well, no, we're playing the Star Cup in Mario Kart 8.
Very good. I enjoyed that.
That was fun. It was good fun getting in to play it with everyone and all that. It was great.
I take the mick out of Declan, but that's one of the nicest wee edits of the year on this programme, my opinion. Emma, I'm learning, right?
Yeah.
Because I know, I'm not serious, but half the time I take the mick out of stuff. But
yeah.
It's a very specific world. But I totally hear what they're saying. If society tells you that the door is closed in some regard or another, well, that door to that world is open.
Yeah, I think with video games, the main thing about them, I think anyway, is the escapism. And those doors are opened to everybody that chooses to sit down and play a video game. There are far less restrictions to how you can get into it. And you generally find too, I know some people think of it as a very sort of singular activity, but when you are playing online, see that boost of being in a team of 4 people, even if it's 4 people you've never met, but the 4 of you's working towards a goal together and saying, oh, here, what do you think we should do here? And especially when it's people you've never met, to be thrown in with 3 strangers from around the world and they instantly have to work together and come out on top, to come out as the winners. I think you can learn a lot from it about everything really, about teamwork, about how to work harder yourself, about how to fit yourself into a team better.
That's really good. Look, I want to thank Helen and Ronnie, and indeed yourself. I could talk to Ronnie all day. Yes. And he walks around in a proper suit and a shirt and tie.
I know. Put us to shame. He looked great.
Part 2 of our gaming special continues tomorrow, including the big race where Emma makes my life pretty difficult. Which I wasn't best pleased about who wins. Stay tuned to this particular network. Fun. It was fun.
It was. I hope there's much more Mario Kart to come.
But I thought when he said, I was like there's some things you don't do on the radio. You don't juggle.
Yeah.
You don't do mime.
Right. Yeah. That's
you don't meditate. Well, you can meditate, but don't do the silent meditating.
No.
You don't do games because you can't see it.
No, I didn't think. No, but I mean, I think because of that, you never really get a room full of gamers that are sitting quiet playing a game. I think people do have that perception of it, but when you have 4 people sitting in a room, the noise isn't going to stop. So it will translate. You could listen to a bunch of gamers all night, even if you can't see what they're playing, and the crack would still be good.
But at least you're talking to each other. You're not sitting, just zonked out on Twitter or Facebook. You're actually communicating with human beings, which is part of it.
And not only that, there are challenges, and even if you're playing a game where you have a 10-minute round or whatever, and within those 10 minutes the goal is to get as many kills as you can, it still is a challenge. It still is something that you're working toward. Whereas if you're sitting scrolling on Facebook, there's no aim to it. You're just seeing what's there. Whereas if you are in playing a game, there is a goal, there is something you have to work towards, there is a challenge, and then there's rewarding feelings too. When you do get good at it, it does feel good. Yeah, it does, and it is rewarding. See, sometimes, especially if you are having like any sort of a bad time, the single element of playing games, even that I think has positive benefits. If you are in a sort of bad frame of mind and you feel like you can't go and speak to someone, but you sit down and put on a game, I know they are tiny victories. I know like the rush of winning a game doesn't actually count in the grand scheme of things. But when you're feeling low and you're afraid to talk to someone or you're afraid to reach out, stick on a game, get a couple of small wins, boost your confidence a wee bit, see where you go from there.
Old Cynic just rings to say, I remember Irish dancing being on the radio. So computer games isn't as bad as that. See, it's the transient, the transience of it, Emma. But I'm just thinking there, everything's transient. Food, great meals pass quite literally. I mean, drink passes. The gig ends. You know, the curtain call in the theatre goes. Everything passes.
It does. But if you had fun in those, if you'd fun in those 4 hours, it's better than that.
Right, a new casino in Grand Theft Auto. My infamous encounter with Grand Theft Auto was that I played it 100 times but never actually got into the auto because I couldn't get out of the bank at the start when you shoot your man. Anyway, video game loot boxes, not gambling in the UK.
Yeah, now as much as I sing the praises of the positive sides of gaming, there can be some downfalls too. And I think this culture nowadays of games having these loot boxes where essentially you pay money and you could get one of these brilliant items, but chances are you're more likely going to get like a less valuable item. And most games have them. They all have some sort of thing where you're never sure what you're actually paying for until after you open it. And because the items that you're getting are like virtual items that don't have a definite monetary value, the Gambling Commission have now said that these loot boxes, these like surprise purchase mechanics don't actually count as gambling, which means they can't enforce it at the minute, which is a bit worrying. But I think it's one of those things that as they become more popular, they will just have to put some sort of enforcement in around it. It's just like children can access it, you know.
Twitter, new layout, I don't mind it. Ivanka Trump has just tweeted, congratulations Boris Johnson on becoming the next Prime Minister of the United Kingston. And also, Emma hasn't opened her mouth. Like, you know, our resident first, she's just determined not to get beaten here.
Yep.
Right there, I'm fourth.
Oh yeah, Emma's number 1.
There's only 4 in it, I suppose. I'm third! I just took over somebody! It's race day. You'll hear all about my Mario Kart adventures, including lightning bolts from the sky, how I got a mushroom on my shoulder. I was on baby mode, which was excellent. And we're all about consoling the road ragers. All of that in the second part of our gaming package. And I wasn't expecting that. That's been an education for me. I would be a wee bit, and I'm conscious of that. I'm a bit scowling sometimes about stuff. But Ronnie and Helen have told us, look, sometimes in life, people can feel on the outside that a door is closed, maybe because of an anxiety, maybe a physical matter, in Helen's case her eyesight, and Ronnie's, well, that'll become apparent. And that whole thing that in gaming communities these young people, young adults, find peers, and they find people who are warm with them and welcoming with them and who understand the complexities of living in a modern world and the social anxieties of all that stuff. So, you know, there's 2 sides to every story. So that's to come after 2. Professor Rolston, though, folks, honestly, put the kettle on, not because it's my programme, but because he makes a rather